Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, we are going to be trying to predict our starting lineups and reserves for the Bledisloe Cup Match 2 that has taken place this weekend. But if you do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We have got a guest once again. He is returning for our series. It is Rugbyitch. Welcome back once again, mate.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Right, so at this stage, there were a few late changes to the All Black squad that almost messed up our point system, because of the fact there were a couple points going off for me, a couple points going off for you as well. But now we are in that situation of we can announce that there was a winner for last week.
There was finally a winner, and it's with great honor to say that I haven't won. Sorry, guys. It's your boy, the Kiwi Lads. He's won. He's defeated me within our first victory from this whole series. He's beating me 31 points to 28, so congratulations to him. It's one of those ones where when we looked at the lineups, obviously, there were a number of changes actually, obviously closer to the time of the date. So it affected both of us. Obviously, you can go over the changes right now. Like, what was the big changes you think that happened?
I think the biggest one in terms of your benefit, was actually Patrick Tuipulotu going onto the bench. You received 2 points for that rather than the 1 point you would have had for Barrett. But then we both lost Dane Coles. We both had 2 points for him, and then it went down to 0 for Samasoni Takeaho.
We couldn't do much about that. I think that was just more or less just a last-minute switch that we really just couldn't see coming. But yeah, I mean, even like Dalton Papali'i, I mean, that was just out of the blue. I mean, obviously, we saw reports earlier on that said that he wasn't even going to be included within the All Black setup for this game. But just like that, he gets put in the starting lineup. So it's kind of a surprise, a good surprise, because I'm a huge fan of Dalton Papali'i as a Blues fan. So yeah, well, he had a good game. He had a good game.
We will have to wait and see whether or not he will be there in our starting lineups this week, perhaps. But at this stage, second game of the Bledisloe, the first one going to the All Blacks, the second one the Wallabies will need to take it, but of course it's still at Eden Park, so it is going to be a very tough game for them. But we saw some fighting spirit in the Wallabies that first week, and hopefully we do get to see a few less penalties from the All Blacks this week, which maybe will be affected by the men in our starting lineup. But we will start with 1, 2, 3. Who have you got in that front row?
Okay, so this might be a bit of a surprise, but I've actually stuck with the same front row that I selected last week. So this could be a bit of a shock, because obviously Carlton Arfe wasn't actually included. Well, he was on the bench, I believe, for the last game. But it's one of those where I do believe we'll get a starting opportunity within this game. So I've gone for him at number 1. At number 2, like I said beforehand, I've gone with Cody Taylor. I still think he's the number 1 option. So I do believe he'll get another chance and opportunity to kind of impress within this game as well. And of course, I've gone with Nepalawala as my number 3 option.
Okay, so once again, we are starting the same exact way. Because I have got Carlton Nukiafi starting at 1,
it's happening.
Cody Taylor at 2, and Nepalawala at 3. So let's see whether or not our locks are going to be different this time. Last time we had Barrett. Both of us had Scott Barrett at 4. What's your number 4 this time?
I actually haven't gone with Barrett this time. It's a surprise, actually, because normally, we like to always joke around with me and Foster how, he always loves the Barretts. But within that 4 position, I actually haven't gone with him. I've gone with Brodie Retallick. I do believe we'll have the combination once again of Brodie Retallick, obviously, with Whitelock. Of course, it was meant to be Barrett and Whitelock last week, but obviously due to the late switch, Retallick obviously came to his place. So I do believe they'll actually go with that same pairing again, and yeah, we'll have to wait to see what happens.
Okay, well, I had that exact same feeling. I've got Brodie Retallick and Sam Whitelock. This is starting the exact same way as it did last week.
I have a funny feeling we have to save these forward back.
You
actually,
sure?
Say yours first.
Okay. We'll change the order. We'll see how this goes. All right, number 6. We're going to do it one by one. Number 6, I've gone with Akira Ioane.
Okay.
Is that the same for yourself?
It's the same for me.
Okay, good start. Number 7, I've actually put Artie Savia at 7. I've transitioned him to 7. I haven't put Dalton Papali'i in the starting lineup, which you have.
I've done the same thing.
You've done the same thing. You've got Artie Savia 7 as well. Okay, we'll just.
He is the better 7. That's his kind of his prime position. So I thought they would kind of shift him back from that 7 role.
And with Dalton Papali'i recently returning from a calf injury, I was worried that they were possibly, if he was out there again, he could end up possibly getting injured again, because he's just going to get in every single breakdown that like his body will physically let him until he gets.
That's the kind of player he is anyway. Yeah, he's very physical in the way that he kind of defends, but to give him, that's kind of the benefit about having him. So yeah, you can't do much with that. But
okay, well, I feel like with Artie Savia moving out of that 8 jersey, does he play for the Chiefs? Your number 8?
Oh my God, we've done it. We actually same forward-back. That's brilliant. Well, Luke Jacobson, of course, is the player that, if you guys haven't figured out yet. Oh my God, you actually went with the same forward-back. This is
identical.
Okay, well, hopefully the backs changes, guys. This is actually pretty scary. I don't think this has actually happened within our series so far. But okay, so for number 9, who have you gone with?
I've gone with Aaron Smith again, the Centurion.
I've gone with Aaron Smith. I think that's an easier selection to go with. So that's kind of predictable in that sense. But for number 10,
unless they rest him, maybe they could go. We'll save him for Perth.
Yeah, they could go with the likes of Brad Weber or maybe TJ Perinar if he's available. We'll wait and see. But I think Aaron Smith's the safer option for that one. So, yeah.
Okay. Number 10. Last week, you had Beauden Barrett. This week?
I have Beauden Barrett again. I've gone with Beauden. Exactly. Okay. I've done this. I'm hoping this is what the first kind of switch we have. But I feel like Beauden is going to get an opportunity. I feel like the only reason why I would have gone with Richie, obviously, because I do believe he's the safer option within this one. Obviously, you want to continue that basis of him playing week in, week out. But it's one of those where I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ian Foster actually switched from Richard Moran towards Beauden Barrett and then back to Richard Moran, obviously, for the Samoa-Fiji games. So I do believe he could do that same system once again. So for that reason, I've gone with Beauden Barrett to start at 10.
Okay, I have stuck with Richie Mo'unga. So we have got our first change. I feel like the way that he played up against the Wallabies, it's very hard to take him out of that starting lineup. So perhaps...
I think he was up there for man of the match for sure. He had a great game.
Because it's one of those ones, I think if they do have Beauden Barrett on the bench again, then maybe they would end up giving him a few more than just the kind of closing 12 minutes or whatever it was that he got. Yeah. But I have decided I will go with Mo'unga in my starting lineup. So luckily we have got a change.
Exactly.
Or else if it's completely identical.
With the 11 jersey, because this is where I'm very interested in. Because obviously, if you guys don't know, you went with George Bridge last time, and if I'm not mistaken, he didn't actually play within this whole one. So I'm kind of interested to see who you go with.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit on the fence with who I've gone with. I think I've gone with Rieko Ioane again at number 11.
Okay.
Now, my big theory there was I feel like the way that the centre combo's been working of Havili and Leonard Brown, I don't think they'll switch Rieko back into the number 13 jersey for this match, which I feel like could backfire, of course. But I've gone with him. I would have gone with George Bridge at 11, but I think Rieko Ioane, the way that he was playing in that last match, they'll give him another opportunity in this one to go up against that battle between him and also, who was number 14? It was actually Jordan Petaia.
It was Jordan Petaia.
He didn't really get too many opportunities throughout that game for the Wallabies.
Very good player. And the great thing about him is that he's actually very versatile, where he can actually play 15, 14, 12, or 13. He's very good with all those positions. So that'll be an interesting battle. That'll be a good battle.
Yeah, I decided Rieko Ioane again, but I wouldn't be surprised if George Bridge got that jersey.
Yeah, stay there. I've actually also gone with Rieko. So this is the first time I've actually selected Rieko at 11, and it feels weird because, like we've obviously discussed beforehand, Rieko, that's the position where he kind of got in. That's where he kind of kind of stood out, you could say, within the rugby world and how he kind of made his name. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited actually as a rugby fan. I love him to play at 11, but at the same time, I know this is kind of selfish of me, but from a Blues perspective, I actually don't want him playing there because I do believe he's a better 13 for the Blues. And obviously we have new signings in that sense within that. But so, yeah, I do believe the 11th spot is a good position for him. And obviously he should be able to impact the game as much as he did with the first test.
Right. So we've only got the one change so far in the first 11. And I think
we have the same here. We must have the same. There's no. So we must have, if I'm not mistaken, David Havili at 12 and Antonio Brown at 13.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, so I think that's another one like Aaron Smith, where it's kind of expected that we'll go with both of those selections. So yeah, like I said beforehand, both those players, I guess, brilliant. It's good that they're shaping up that partnership. I do believe that's the probably say the partnership you go with for the World Cup, in my opinion. The next World Cup, I mean, but
okay,
you never know.
Right.
You never know. But yeah,
so
actually,
I'll go
with 14. Yeah, 14. I've actually this is actually I've gone with Severis, and this is the first time in all my predictions I've actually gone with two wingers within both of my, because normally, well, you could say maybe Reiko's not a winger, maybe he's a center if you want to say it, but this is the first time I've actually gone with Severis as my 14 option. So I'm hoping he's in, but we'll have to wait and see, because he had a great performance as well. But yeah, I mean, who have you gone with the 14 position?
I have also got Severis at 14, and I think Marika Koromberi, if I'm not wrong, is going to be returning this week.
Yeah.
And that was the battle that I thought they were setting up for last week with my selection of Severis at 14.
Agreed, yeah.
And instead, Callaway had a brilliant game for his first start for the Wallabies, I felt.
It's surprising because I'll be completely truthful here. When he plays, obviously, within club rugby, obviously, I do believe he's with the Rebels. He's not the best.
Really?
He doesn't really shine with them. I mean, for what I've seen with Callaway within the Rebels, he's not particularly the best player for them. I think really, I mean, it's surprising to say, but I think Matt Mua is probably their best player for the Rebels. I mean, he just didn't really have a standout season for them. But for his first test for the Wallabies, I mean, credit to him. He actually really played well. Obviously, he got the opening try within the game. So, I mean, credit to him. He was spot on within that game.
See, because I'm actually almost a little bit the opposite. I've been keeping an eye on this guy for a little while, Andrew Callaway. And I think one of his standout performances was the game between the Rebels and the Crusaders for Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. Like, he actually had a couple brilliant closing.
That's not the one game. Like, if you look at every other game he's played, he hasn't played well. He hasn't
had a lot of minutes.
That's the only game where he actually stood out, because the Crusaders, of course, were going for the win, and they were being kind of, you say, not really Crusader-like, kind of being more open in a sense where they're going for more tries in that match. Obviously, they're trying to get that points difference. But yeah, I mean, Callaway's a great player, but he's not like my first choice, I'd say, winger, if put it that way. But yeah, anyway, we're getting carried on. But who have you gone with your 15 position?
My number 15, I have once again gone with the man who is considered the clutch king from Super Rugby, and that is going to be Damian McKenzie at number 15.
I like that. Well, this is another difference. I guess, fortunately for both of us, we need some differences within the squad, and I've stuck to my guns because I'm hoping he plays, because he wasn't selected within the first test, but I've gone with Will Jordan. I'm a huge fan of Will Jordan, and I do believe he is the All Blacks' next 15. I do believe that's his strongest position, and I do believe that's the position he plays the most for the Crusaders, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping he plays there, but I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if they go with Jordy Barrett to actually start. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they do that. They go with Jordy Barrett, and we've both gone with McKenzie. It's going to be ruining. But anyway, we'll move on to the bench now.
Okay, so number 16, Dane Cole's still possibly recovering from an injury, but we're not too sure. That's the thing. This week, there's been hardly anything reported about injuries for the All Blacks. But who have you got at number 16? Have you gone with the risky Coles, or have you gone with someone else even riskier, I guess you could say?
I've actually gone with someone riskier. This is probably the one position where I've taken a risk, because I don't know. I think Cole's just. There's not obviously reports we found, but I don't believe he will play. So I've actually gone with Takalaiho. I do believe. I've actually gone with him, and I think he did well actually for what he did. Obviously, just for an injury replacement, to say the least. So yeah, I think they'll give him another opportunity. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, I have not gone with Dane Coles either, but I also haven't gone with Samisoni Takiaho. I am giving the man from Wellington a call up here, Isafa Miller, because of the fact he was right in that All Blacks contention for that jersey up until his concussion. And I think the way that he can play and the way that he can just steamroll people when he gets a bit of speed, I feel like he would match up very well going up against the likes of Taniela Tupou and Angus Bell, who will be coming off the bench of the Wallabies, perhaps. Yeah. So I think his power game, and also, I mean, the pace of the man, it's deceptive, but he can run like he's a back.
Man,
and you don't want to try and tackle him because of the fact that he'll just run straight over the top of yourself. Gone with a big risk here and gone with a Safa Moore, who at this stage isn't even training with the squad, I don't think. So that might have been a big risk.
But that one. Safa, like I said before, I was looking just casually, just seeing on Google like how old he is, and he's 24 years old. It's crazy to think how he has a ton of potential. Obviously, I knew he was kind of younger compared to a lot of the hookers nowadays, but yeah, he really is in line, obviously, to be the next hooker for the All Blacks. So I wouldn't be surprised if they obviously give him an opportunity within this game. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
I think I regret my decision. Yeah. I don't think I thought it through because I'm thinking about it. And last time, Perenara got called into the squad as injury cover for Finlay Christie.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that one was heavily announced. So I feel like unless there's an injury, a bigger injury, I guess you could say, during the week, a Moore may not be lurking. But hopefully doesn't cost me too much there. Right. Number 17 and 18, who are your replacement props?
So yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of simple in a sense because I've gone with the same, props as last time. So I've made one switch because I think George Bauer actually played pretty well obviously he started for the All Blacks in that first game. So he is my 17 for the bench, and for number 18, I've once again gone with Angus Tauber. Okay,
I have got the exact same thing. I know that Ethan de Groot is still training with the squad,
and it's a 50-50 really with him. It's one of those. That's why exactly why I selected him last week. But it was one of those where, like you said, he's training with the squad, but it just doesn't look right that he'll play. But you never know. Ian Foster does surprise us sometimes with his selections, but yeah,
he does indeed. Right, surprising selections. Perhaps number 19, the lock position. I feel like this one's also a 50-50 in a way of whether or not Barrett will be returning from sickness. I believe he is. I think he is back to 100%, but
he should be available for this one. It's one of those where, I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't gone with this guy, but I just want to mention him. I mean, there is the conversation of Tupou Balai being included because he wasn't even included within any of the last three. When he came off within the first game, I believe. But other than that, he wasn't included within the rest. So I would love to see him get an opportunity, but it's one of those where I obviously haven't gone with him. I've actually gone with Patrick Tupou for my number 19 option. So I do believe he did. I think he made the impact. He was, obviously it's his job to make the impact off the bench. I think he did the job there, and I do believe he'll get another opportunity.
Okay, so I've brought Scott Barrett back in to be in that number 19 jersey.
Okay.
And because it's a tough one, they might even decide to start Barrett, depending on how they go, because I feel like it's one of those ones. He is highly up there in Ian Foster's books, I've found, for that number 4 jersey and off the bench. So I think if he wasn't included last week, I think he might get a chance this week, but it's going to be one of those ones, like we mentioned, 50-50. But then I think number 20 is a little bit more maybe one-sided in terms of who we've gone with, perhaps.
Ooh. Maybe. I'm not sure who you've gone with.
Who have you got?
I've actually gone with Ethan Battletter. He's my... Oh, is that what you're going with as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought for some reason you might have gone with Dalton, so I was like, obviously you played within the previous one, but I've actually gone with Ethan Battletter. Of course, you can cover 6 and 7 as well, so it's one of those where and he hasn't had game time, obviously, for the All Blacks, so I do believe he'll get his opportunity within this game.
Yeah. Okay. So we have got the same there. I thought for a second that maybe I had misinterpreted the situation, but
exactly. Yeah.
So last week, 21 was one of your riskier positions. It was your big risk of putting Perenara.
Yeah.
Have you got him again?
Well, no. This is where I've kind of been more safe in the sense where I haven't gone with him because it's one of those which I still haven't seen anything if he's going to play or not. I mean, obviously he didn't play within the last game, so for that reason, I've gone with Brad Weber on the bench at number 21.
Okay, I have done the same there once again, gone with Weber, who didn't have too much of an impact late in that game, but he also didn't really get too many minutes.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. He didn't get too many minutes, and for that amount of time he was brought on for, it's not really enough time to actually make an impact within the game.
Definitely when you are pretty much completely on defense as the All Blacks
and
for that last kind of.
A scrum master, like normally you kind of excel when you're actually attacking. So for for him to defend, it's you're not really in the game. So yeah.
No. Right. Number 22 and 23. We'll do them combined. Last week it was 2 Barretts.
Yeah.
This week you've already got your Barrett in the starting lineup.
Exactly. So I've stuck with the same 10 combination as last week. So obviously Richard Mo'unga will be 22. So it's the 50-50 really. We've kind of discussed it already. And for 23, I've actually gone with Jordie Barrett. I do believe it's one of those where I could have gone with McKenzie if I wanted to, but I do believe Jordie Barrett will get another opportunity. And I've also just kind of done a cheeky tactic because I do believe there's an off chance he could start as well. So I'm hoping that it's an extra point I can claim if I put him in, but we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Okay, so number 22, I've once again gone with Beauden Barrett off my bench.
Yeah, of course.
And number 23, I've done a little bit of the same tactic as you, but with a different name. I've got Will Jordan as my number 23.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so you're covering the basis from that. I like that.
Just in case. But then there is also a chance that maybe 23 could have his name on it with that cover of the wing and also fullback if need be. But we only had about 5 changes throughout our whole lineup.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think this we're definitely going to win it from this for sure. It's one of those because obviously we have more similar choices, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens because obviously we've always discussed this. Like you guys will like to know, but like it always gets harder by week actually going through these lineups because it's obviously there's more injuries that come up. There's more kind of changes within different sides you play. So yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, this should be exciting.
It will indeed, and I believe the lineups are normally announced around 12 o'clock on Thursday, maybe a little bit earlier. So we've got less than 24 hours to wait this time, rather than last time when we had about 4 days to really think about our lineups and think about all the changes that we possibly should have made. Now we've got less than 24 hours. So yeah, hopefully, I might get a call up some stage.
Ooh, you never know.
Just to save me a little bit, because that's the thing. We've now learned with the late changes that they made, like it's not really 100% definite who's winning this one until the players are out on the field because of the fact that right up until kickoff, they could be changing them. But yeah, nonetheless, I think that is going to be the end of this prediction video. Be sure to leave us your predictions in the comments as well with who you think they will be going with in that starting lineup and reserves. Also, be sure to check out Rugbyitch over on his channel. He does a little bit of rugby as well, revolving around the Bledisloe Cup, and the Rugby Championship will be coming up very soon, where we are also going to be predicting who we think is going to be in the starting lineups for the All Blacks. So thank you once again for coming on the channel, mate.
No worries, man. No worries.
But yeah, nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all in the next one.